Hello, welcome to my channel, Wing Spiritual Clarity. My name is Wendy Wing. I'm doing a psychic tarot reading, tuning into the day's energies, seeing what divine messages of guidance come through. Hope this reading finds you happy and healthy and enjoying your journey to becoming more and more yourself. All right. All right, the overall energy of the reading is the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. This feels like receiving unwanted karma. Karma isn't punishment. It is a mechanical aspect of this reality. What you put out, you receive back. Karma is there so you can learn. You might have felt very comfortable behaving in a certain way, but then when you receive that same treatment back, you're given the opportunity to learn and say, well, maybe I didn't really enjoy being on the receiving end of that, so I'll change. A lack of luck, a lack of fortune, Four of Wands in reverse too. A lack of celebration, a lack of joy. Feels like your luck changed. You're ground to a halt practically over time. Feels like feels like a bait and switch. Feels like you thought you were lucky. This is the biggest luck ever, and you followed someone in deeper and deeper into a connection, a relationship, because you thought this was your happiness, your celebration, moving from dating to engagement, from engagement to marriage. It feels like deeper and deeper commitment. And you thought this was going to be your happiness. But what happened is a bait and switch. Not happy, unhappy. This isn't what you were expecting. Okay. Wheel of Karma, Karmic. I think you might have believed that this person was your happily ever after, and instead they were a lesson. Anything else in the overall energy? Death reversed. Non-changing. There's no way. It feels like the further you follow this person into a relationship where you think this is happiness, because they're telling you this is happiness, this is joyful, and then they switch on you. And there's no changing this. There's no ending. It feels like you have the same conversations, the same arguments. Feels like you're trying to make it work, trying to stay in this relationship, trying to make a very unhappy situation, trying to figure out why it's not working, why there's no change here. There's no end. It feels very stuck in a very unhappy place. Judgment, Four of Cups. I think the relationship was working for this person. They baited you into a relationship, kept saying yes, oh my gosh, we want the same thing, yes, just constantly lying, deceiving, mirroring back, telling you this is amazing, we're going to be so happy, we are so happy. But each time you follow this person deeper into a commitment, they switch up. They become more of who they really are and what this relationship really is about. It looks like if you could have changed this person, this relationship, you would have. You tried everything. It looks like you needed to wake up and realize that even if there is some type of emotional connection, that this is not love. Feels like this relationship might have spurned your awakening to realize what's love and what's not love. Looking at hidden blessings, we have 6 of Cups. You might have been primed for this karmic relationship, a bait and switch, in your family of origin. Meaning that there's something about this bait and switch type of energy that felt normal, comfortable in your nervous system. Maybe because you were raised to center someone else, to try to fix your relationship with your parents. This might have been helping you see maybe one of your parents, maybe this person in this relationship that I'm tuned into, this other person, was very similar to one or both of your parents. It looks like you might have been taught, raised to stay in uncomfortable environments, to tolerate a lot, being told this is love. This is what love is. And so you stayed. Kept trying to make something work out of this. I think the hidden blessing here is when you wake up to the realization that this activity is a lesson. This is not love. Feels like instead of pouring into another person, there's an opportunity here for you to learn how to love yourself, to not give from an empty cup, to care about how you feel, to care about how you're being treated, to take care of yourself. Instead of pouring into others, pour into yourself. Love yourself. And not working with people who don't put in the work and effort, who aren't willing to show up, put in the work, invest in you. I get the feeling here that you do a lot of the heavy lifting in relationships. Maybe you were raised to believe that codependency, depending on others, trauma bonds, was how to relate. Being addicted, being obsessive over someone, a connection. Feels like over time, being in a relationship like the one I'm describing, that you lose yourself. And you center someone else, you attune to their needs, their wants, and you completely lose yourself trying to make it work. But it is working. The relationship was working, is working, depends on where you are, for the other person. They purposely did a bait and switch, told you that you were going to be so happy and told you what you wanted to hear. But then when you get to that next level of some type of commitment with them, then they feel more comfortable showing who they really are. It feels like they're taking advantage of your needs, you needing to be with someone. They're taking advantage and hiding in your wounds, it looks like. Feels like the hidden blessing here is figuring out your childhood traumas, difficulties, learning how to love yourself, and going forward, working with people who are honest, who show up, not just tell you. Love is an action. So not listening to what people say as much as watching what they do, how they behave. What you're leaving behind is Six of Swords, which is leaving behind, moving on to calmer shores. I think leaving this type of relationship behind, moving away from it, feels like to be in this type of relationship, your nervous system is dysregulated, you're dysregulated. After attuning to someone else's needs for so long, losing yourself in the sauce, kind of forgetting who you are outside of this relationship, there's a need to heal, a need to move on, a need to leave this behind. Learn from it. Cultivate what you prefer going forward. Plant seeds of what you prefer. Take your time. There's no rush. Sorry, snort. I say that and then Chariot comes out, which is fast movement. So it's kind of funny here. There's something here about slow going, moving on. It'll take some time to leave this behind. But it looks like there's a lot of success for you when you decenter someone, when you are no longer attuning to your energy, attuning to them. You constantly thinking about them, trying to convince them even in your thoughts, to try to convince them to see you, to care about you. When you let go of that activity and move on, it looks like there's a big glow up relatively quickly because when you decenter someone and you put yourself back, not center someone else, but center yourself, take all that energy that you've been pouring into others and pour into yourself. That feels like the antidote. And then you start being at your, attuning to you, your desires, what you want, and having a lot of success. Feels like this person has a lot to say negatively about you, but leaving that behind. Okay. This person feels very confident in controlling you, controlling the narrative, trying to block you from your independence, block you from what really is love, what really is success. This is the kind of person that definitely creates lies and deception to other people. I just keep getting leaving it behind, not engaging in that activity, not trying to convince anyone. Anyone who listens to this person and doesn't come to you to ask what's going on, they like the lies that this person says about you. They're not your friends. They're not someone worth trying to convince of who you really are. What I'm getting is move on to calmer shores, heal your nervous system, take your time. But there is like a fast glow up that happens, success. The proof is in the pudding. Instead of spending time and energy trying to convince people of who you really are, what I'm getting is move on and show people who you really are. Making moves, moving on, This person can't explain your success with their lies. Feels like that's the medicine for deception. Showing, just moving on, enjoying your life, going after what you desire, healing. All right, how to get the most of this energy is Two of Cups in reverse. I think how to get the most of this energy is to recognize this is not love. This feels like a lesson, really tough lesson. Lessons. This is not your person. Someone who doesn't care when you say you've hurt me, that I'm having difficulty, and instead they get real defensive. This is the Darvo type of response. I think this relationship not working has created an opportunity for you to wake up, have an awakening, and realize this isn't what you thought you were spending time and energy and your care and love in. This is not love. That's what I'm getting. And so to show yourself what love is. Feels like a lot of you are breaking up with this energy or have broken up. Depends on where you are on the time. Wow. The overall energy was the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and now the Wheel of Fortune's upright. After breaking up, your luck changes. Boy, huge shift in the energy when you wake up and realize this is not love. This is not a loving activity. I don't receive this as love. And start caring for yourself, loving yourself, moving on from this energy. It also feels like your luck changes, because instead of attuning to someone else's energy, might have affected your mental health, emotional health, even physical health. So long, chronically attuning to someone else's needs and wants and not your own. So when you separate from this energy, your luck changes because you center yourself. You attune to your energy, your desires. You spend all that time and energy, instead of pouring into someone else, you pour into yourself. Show yourself and show others what your love, your beautiful loving energy and care, and focus it on yourself. How much shift in fortunes happens. Something, not that you need to prove anything other than maybe to yourself. It does feel like a glow up is what I'm awakening, glow up, success, making moves, moving on, healing from this. It feels like a lot of change and allowing that shift. There's this Empress energy that you have access to. Divine Feminine. Birthing a new reality. Creating the version of you prefer. Creating the life you prefer. It feels like there's no energy left in this relationship. There's no fight. Feels like for some of you, this person your world has gotten very small, focused on this other person. Maybe you're isolated. Maybe you don't have a lot of resources. Maybe there's financial abuse to keep you tied to this person. It looks like this person has created a lot of fears, making you feel insecure about yourself. This person feels like they nag you, nagging constantly, and constantly counteracting. Whatever you say, they say the opposite. Constantly making you question how you're perceiving things. They just constantly, it feels like this is purposeful to keep you stuck, to keep you insecure, to keep you confused and stuck in a comfort zone with this person. Very painful, uncomfortable, but not uncomfortable enough that you're willing to make moves to get out of that. It feels like this type of relationship, trapped in your own fears, trying to make this work, trying to expend all your energy and effort to get this person to validate you, to care about you. And instead it feels like removing this person and validating yourself, validating your own emotions, your own experience. All right, what's supporting you is love, Ace of Cups. Being in flow state, loving yourself. So when I first decided I'm going to love myself, it wasn't about massages, even though loving yourself is self-care and things like that, but loving myself enough to make difficult decisions, getting out of a comfort zone, creating healthy boundaries, speaking uncomfortable truths, taking care of myself and not allowing myself to stay in environments where I'm not loved, where I'm not cared for. Not trying to convince. Love is not having to convince someone to care about you, not spending so many months, years, decades trying to convince someone that something they say or some activity that they do is painful and hurts you. It feels like there's a lack of care. They don't care. They want to do what they want to do. Okay. For some of you, it looks like this person doesn't know how to end a relationship in a mature, healthy way. It looks like they might end it through third parties because they don't know how to. This is not someone who's mature. This is someone who, it feels like they've third party, someone, they juggled someone, convincing them that you're a burden. It's weird. It feels like this person wants to devalue you and discard you, but they don't really want to discard you. They want to devalue and discard you, but have you like an asterisk. They want to still have control over your life, over you, so if they need to come back in and breadcrumb you back in, then they've got you. Ugh. I think what's supporting you is realizing what love is and what love is not. And this type of activity of third parties wanting to devalue you, discard you, but not fully, to keep you kind of breadcrumbed just in case. Yeah. All right. What to be mindful of is Hanged Man in reverse. I think this person wanted you to sacrifice yourself. And maybe you were raised to believe in relationships to keep giving and giving and giving, over giving, not expecting anything in return. And then eventually, when you have needs and wants, that they will return the favor. And instead, I think there's a realization that if you don't practice reciprocity, giving and taking, then it's not practice, and it just becomes an expectation. And so it looks like you're letting yourself off the hook here. You're no longer sacrificing yourself to be in a relationship with someone, because it looks like you've learned that you lose yourself, that this is not love. This is not an activity that creates love, but centering someone else, not seeing value in yourself. Oh. Yeah, there's something here. It feels like this other person here, doesn't want you to move on, doesn't want you to have other options. It's weird. There's this energy of definitely discarding you, but they want to control how you're discarded, how others view you, discard you, put you to the side, but still have control over you. This is someone emotionally unapologetic, immature, reckless, a bully. And it looks like the best way to win with this energy is to not engage, not talk, not try to convince, just gray rocking. Don't give them any emotions. If you have to communicate with this person, just the facts, not letting them affect your emotions at all. You've got the strength to get through this. It feels like there's a lot of inner strength, courage, finding your strength, finding what love really is, loving yourself through this, and training your focus on what you do prefer, on healing, on building your independence and freedom. This is pre-Empress energy. You have Empress, pre-Empress, 2 aces, Ace of Cups. So I'm going to go ahead and do an extended reading if this has resonated for you and you want to continue on. I'm halfway through the reading. I'll be looking at health, relationships, creativity, new opportunities, and career and finance. So if you are interested in continuing with this reading, there's a link in the description box below. It says extended reading here. Takes you right to part 2 on Patreon. So I'll see you over on Patreon, and the rest of you have a wonderful day. Take care.